Is classical music dying? Hello everyone and welcome to John Paul Piano. Today we will be discussing whether classical music is dying. If you look this up on the internet, you will find many different and varying opinions, but the answer is absolutely not. If you are a classical music fan, or if you play an instrument as a hobby or even professional, you will know that with absolute certainty classical music is not dying, so don't let anybody tell you different. And if you look this up, which I have done, I got very angry because so many people were saying, well, the reason why classical music isn't dying is because we've been changing how classical music performances and recitals work. They've been adding in, people combine classical with pop music and all this stuff. No, that is not the reason why. In fact, if you look at it, people don't want all the new stuff. People want just the classical music, the masterpieces. I looked this up just to tell you that the New York Philharmonic Orchestra this season, they are doing a performance that consists of they're doing, I compared two different performances. One of them has, I think, the Brahms Violin Concerto. That's great. But then they also have a couple other pieces, like I think a Lutoslawski Concerto, as well as a different new piece that it's a premiere, so it's never been heard before. But then if you look, they still have seats open, okay? That's fine. I mean, that's not rare to have seats open at performances. But then, if you look, they're also doing during the same season, there's a different performance where Sir Andras Schiff, the pianist, the amazing pianist, is going to be performing with the orchestra. I think he's doing a Mozart concerto, and they're also performing like some pieces from Mendelssohn and Haydn. It's all just the masterpieces from the composers that really are the best. And literally, every single seat is sold out. There are no more seats open for either performance. I think they're doing two performances, a Saturday or a Friday and a Saturday, but both performances are completely booked. There is no seats left available. See, so that will show you people don't want to hear all the new music, if you want to call it that, that's coming out today. The only people who want it are the people who are making it and making the money off of it. So, I don't know why people are performing it. Maybe they're performers. I think it's because they say, oh, we don't want to leave anybody out. Well, in this case, you're supposed to be performing music, and objectively speaking anyway, and I can prove this to you, that a lot of the new things that are being put out are not actually music. But that's for another video, so wait for it. I'll be making it in another couple of weeks, so keep a lookout for it. Anyway, so if you look it up, if classical music is dying or not, one of the top articles that will come up is from no other than CNN, which is not a music source, so I don't even know why they're talking about this. But guess who wrote an article on it? Charlie Albright, the musician who tries to add twists to classical music. But in reality, he's just doing his own thing. He says the way to save classical music is to broaden the scope. And, he wants to combine all the different genres of music. Classical, pop, rock, all those. And he travels the country and he gives performances doing this. He says that classical music performances nowadays are too stern and set in stone. Well, guess what? That's how they should be. If you look at all the good performances back in the day, they were packed full with people. There were no seats left. So that tells you something. This was before all the new stuff started coming in. But now that all the new stuff started to come in, a lot of orchestras nowadays, they always include, for some reason, at least one newer piece. And you realize that there's always seats left open because people don't want to hear that. I know that has deterred me many times from buying tickets to a performance. Say if they're doing a Beethoven Symphony number 7, for instance, that's my favorite. Beethoven Symphony number 7, my favorite Beethoven Symphony. But then they have to add in, like, a premiere of some new work by some modern composer. And it's like a whole piano concerto from, like, a new composer. I look up the composer, I listen to some of his music, it just sounds like this and that. It just sounds like you sit down on the piano and just go... You know, it's not music. That's all it is. It's just banging, just random stuff. So I say, I'm not going to go to that because I don't want to hear that. The symphony will be great, but I don't want to hear that, so I'm not going to go. So in reality, orchestras are losing money from doing this, which this is why I want to go back and remake the structure of this, of classical music and orchestras. I would love to be a conductor someday. That way I can bring us back to what we used to be, where the concert halls were packed full of people, tickets were selling out in days whenever they were announced, just performing the masterpieces of old, where we don't have all this new garbage. So, classical music is not dying. If you look at piano competitions, for example, I'm a big fan of piano competitions. I've entered a couple of them. There are so many applicants nowadays, and so many people who watch them, who go to them. If they're live streamed, people are tuning in. If you look at the recent competition, the Clyburn competition in 2022, last June, I watched it. It was incredible. It had over 10 million views on the live stream, on the webcast. It's insane. And if you look at the performance that Yoon Chan Lim, the first place winner, grand prize winner, outstanding pianist, he performed the Rachmaninoff third piano concerto. That has gotten over 8 million views ever since then. That shows you something. Because it shows you, if classical music was dying, well, if people want all this new stuff, why are they watching it? Why are they watching it? Classical music is growing. All these classical music channels have thousands, if not millions, of subscribers and views. And even just recently, the Clyburn Junior competition, which is coming up in June of this year, it got 248 applicants, which is a record-breaking number for them. And that's juniors. That's people 13 to 17 year old. That's not even like 18 and up. It's 13 to 17 year olds from like 100 different countries. The amount of people playing instruments and wanting to move on as musicians, it proves to you that classical music is not dying. And guess what? It's not gonna die, because the amount of people in it right now that are passionate about it and that love it and it's part of their life, they are not going to let it die no matter what. So hopefully that proves to you that classical music is not dying. Leave a comment. Please subscribe. I'm trying to grow my music channel here. I want to spread classical music through the world, so please subscribe, give a thumbs up, and leave a comment if you think classical music is dying or not. If you disagree, tell me why you disagree in the comments, and if you agree, well, tell me that too. I hope to be posting a video from now on every week or two, depending on, what's going on. I'm also going to be recording for a piano competition in the next couple weeks, so I'll be posting a video of me performing, so keep a lookout for that, and I'll see you soon.